Hey guys, what's happening? So, a lot of people have been asking me to do a review, an in-depth review, to say the least, of the Tao of Badass. Now, I'll give you the scope and the rundown of what I'm going to talk about. First, the product information. So, a lot of people just assume that the Tao of Badass is just a book to attract women, to get better with women, etc., etc. There's actually a little bit more to it, so I'll just give you a brief overview. Once I do that, I'll go into the actual book review. I'll go chapter by chapter, telling you what the chapters are going to teach you and why it would be useful for you. Third, I'm going to go over the membership, because you do get one with the program, and some cool features that come with it. Then, I'll go into the bonuses. Now, I want to mention that these are time sensitive, so depending on when you're watching this video, they might be gone, they might not be. The best way to check that is to check out the link I gave in the description, and at the end of that video, from the link, it should tell you if these bonuses are still available. And then I'll go into recommendations and tips on the actual program if you need it, if you don't need it, at what level you're at, what level you're not at. Okay? So let's jump into the intro right off the bat. And the first thing you get is obviously the ebook, so I know you guys want to see that, and this is the cover. The second thing you will be getting is videos, and this is just one of them on the Today Show, where they talk about, these are the two instructors and what they taught the guy on the right. And on top of that, you're gonna have access to the members area, where you're gonna have a community of guys and some cool things I'll show you in a bit. So now let's go into the actual review of the book, because I know that's what you're dying to know. And the intro starts off by telling us that the author is an actual professional who's consulted with Axe body spray and has a good track record. It gives a great variety, to improve not only your dating life, but if you want to improve your business or personal relationships. There's sound advice with that, because it's all about social dynamics and studying psychology. And lastly, it just tells you about how many guys the author has taught. So, and it ranges from teens to men in their 70s, religious, non-religious, etc. Alright, so the second chapter is all about gender roles. So this really goes into a little bit of scientific data and Darwinian theory, and how we have progressed from that theory. And one of the things that it goes over is wealthy men and their attractive traits, right? So everyone's like, oh, girls are attracted to wealthy men. Well, this goes into a bit about how that was created and why money actually doesn't matter, believe it or not. Okay, the third chapter goes into confidence. It breaks down where it comes from, why women are attracted from it, and it also teaches you how your brain works and how to program it to become more confident. So there's actually a step-by-step system that the book has that makes it easy for you to change your belief systems to become more confident, which is actually really good even if you don't care about picking a woman. Okay, now here's the part you all wanted to see, right? How to pick up chicks. And we're not talking about the little ones you see in the picture here, talking about actual women. So chapter 4 is the actual system, right? He gives you the framework that you need, and it has many different aspects to it. I can't go through all of those, but from like building rapport, which basically means getting comfortable, to gaining attraction. And if you really suck, like really, or you're just a noob, you don't know where to start, this chapter alone will give you an epiphany. It just will. Okay, and then you have the approach. Okay, so one thing about the approach is that guys are scared to death by it. Okay, so maybe familiar phrases such as, I can't approach her, I don't have my favorite shirt, she probably has a boyfriend, I'm not in a good mood today, I'm just here to hang out with my friends, how do I take her away from her friends, etc., etc. All of these are answered here, and after a while you would notice that this wouldn't be an issue at all, but you can figure it out here. Okay, Then you have chapter 6, which is all about testing. And I don't mean your skills, I mean how the girl tests you. And the girls do this all the time, right? A lot of guys don't realize this. They'll test you, and it can get frustrating. Maybe you pass a few, and then you're like, why does she keep testing me? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. What you have to understand is, this is not actually consciously done by them. They're just trying to make sure that, you know, the person you're portraying to be is the actual person that you are with these tests. Alright, so after that, logically it goes into reading body language, right? So body language is 60% of all communication. This is universally known. So it's actually the fundamental thing that you have to learn to communicate better, be it to a woman, business advisor, associate, friend, family member, etc. The vocal and verbal actually come with it, because if you have good body language, you'll probably be verbally and vocally more confident. And the book will go into using these different techniques, how to transfer these emotions using body language to draw attraction. Okay? Now chapter 8 is all about creating love. Alright, so most people don't know how to create love. And this is kind of unique if you've never heard about it, but it usually happens magically and spontaneously as you see movies, etc., etc. Now I would say this is an optional chapter for you, because you may want to keep it magical and spontaneous. At the same time though, if you're really into somebody, really into a girl, you may want to be able to create this love, or use some things to make it happen quicker, okay? So I'll leave that up to you. It's up to you if you want to learn that or not. And chapter 9 is all about the biggest mistake that men make. And trust me, this is all the time. And the thing about this is, even pros make these mistakes sometimes, okay? But if you can nail down most of them, you'll be pretty good to go. So I give one example here, which is being needy. And I would give you more, but it wouldn't be fair to the author who spent so much time figuring this out. However, if you do watch the video I sent in the, that I posted in the description below, I'll actually give you a few more of these. So you may want to check that out. Okay, now we'll go on to the membership area. This is kind of unique, and the reason being, it's not only because you know, you get the videos, you get these bonuses that I was mentioning. These are the ones I got, but like I said, I don't know how many I can promise to you depending on when you're watching this video. So just check out that link to make sure they're still available. Anyway, one thing about the membership area is not, yeah, sure, there's a community and the authors answer all your questions, whatever, etc., right? But there's a unique thing, it's called the nearby members. And basically, you can just look on your phone or on the internet who's really nearby you, and you guys can go and, you know, pick up women or hang out or whatever. It's pretty cool. Thought that was interesting. Now I'll take you into the bonuses. So here are the bonuses. Alright, relax, horn dog. I won't be sending you one of these ladies. But here's what's actually currently available. So the program right now comes with these 4 books. Okay? Breaking Up Like a Man, Escaping the Friend Zone, self-explanatory. Monogamy versus polygamy, whatever, however the hell you say that. It's basically having one girlfriend versus having multiple girlfriends, and how you would pull that off. How to never get cheated on. And then there's this cool report. It's an attraction flowchart. Basically, you can have this anywhere with you on your phone. And if you're out and you're trying to meet women, you can just quickly look at it and see, oh, what am I missing? What am I doing wrong? What did I do wrong? It's a nice little thing to have. And of course, right now the popular body language master's course is being offered. But I just really want to point out that I cannot promise these, because they can be taken down. So don't get mad at me if they are gone. Just check out the video in the description and you'll see if they are there or not. Okay. Now going into recommendations of what path to take. What would be your next step? So I'll make it very, very simple. If you're a beginner or intermediate, I would recommend the program. And here's why. There's many different dating programs, many different systems. A lot of them similar, some of them not. But the point is, if you're a beginner or intermediate, one thing I noticed is and this goes with anything, if you're scattered, you're learning this, another thing, blah, 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 some things are going to contradict each other. And you're not going to be at a stage where you're confident enough to weed out one thing or another, so you'll be kind of like conflicted. And whenever you're conflicted, that's when you're not going to take action, because you'll be so confused. Right? So the best thing to do is take on one thing at a time. This is one program that's as good as any for beginners or intermediates. And once you get some results and some action, you start getting more confident, you can look at some other sources, right? Expand your network, and that way you'll start progressing because you already have results. But if you're trying to take in everything at once, they're going to contradict each other, and you're just not going to get any results, and then you're just going to give up. Now, if you're a pro, you're really good with women, etc., etc., I would only recommend this if you want to expand your network, because not too many things are going to be really groundbreaking for you, and what you will get though is maybe a few nuggets here and there that you didn't know, which could polish up your game a little bit if you want to do that. But realistically, you'll be expanding your network, meeting newer guys, and going out with different guys, and that's pretty cool too if you want to do that, so I'll leave it up to you. Now I wanted to show you Melissa. And Melissa says she's willing to be picked up by you, but highly recommends watching the video posted below. Now here's why. The video reveals 3 tips that you can use instantly. So even if you don't care about the Tao of Badass or any of this nonsense, the video will actually give you 3 tips that will help you today. So you have nothing to lose there, and she'll be willing to be picked up by you. I want to mention she almost killed me, okay? She actually saw me making this, and I somehow managed to convince her to leave the pickup. But I almost did die, so know that I almost died for you. Alright, that pretty much wraps up what I had to say about the program, my recommendations. And after you watch the video from the link below, leave me any questions or comments that you want or may have, or just don't know about, and I'll get back to you on those, okay? I like to help out too. So, talk soon, player, and hopefully you get some results right away. See ya.